Please welcome back to the stage, Vice President Cyrus Karimi.
I am excited to introduce TK El-Khoury as our next speaker. Talk about a fast tracker. TK started his enterprise career just 4 years ago and moved from daily rental into fleet management 2 years ago as a CSM in our San Diego office. TK had a fantastic second year in fleet, finishing number 5 at the Emerald Club and qualified for the sales trip this fiscal year. In speaking with his regional sales manager, John DeMichelle, he shared that TK has a passion to be the best and sets extremely high standards for himself. TK's analytical approach and passion for the client experience are what enables him to be a trusted advisor to his customers. Now, when you speak with TK, he attributes his success to his work ethic, the great team around him in San Diego, and that he's the self-proclaimed best-dressed person in the entire SoCal group. Mills, I don't know, you got some competition out there apparently, but NSM, put your hands together and let's welcome up TK to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may not be aware of this, but the one thing that unites us all here today, besides our commitment to enterprise, is that we are all seeking purpose, even our senior leadership. Let's travel 6,000 miles away and many years ago. I was born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon. I come from a Christian family, a minority in Lebanon. Growing up, I was instilled with values of resilience and integrity while serving God above all. Little did I know that these values would be guiding me through life. Through the years, this land has faced unimaginable hardships. My family's journey has been a testament for resilience. For 40 years, my father served in the Lebanese military, fearlessly fighting in civil wars, losing loved ones, and enduring incidents that brought him close to the brink of death. Throughout it all, my mother stood by his side, a pillar of strength and boundless love. You may ask yourself, what did my childhood look like in Beirut? Well, to briefly describe it, I remember studying at night while using candles for light, since we never had 24-hour electricity. I remember my parents picking me up early from school on several occasions due to terrorist attacks or bombings. I remember summer of 2006 where I had to take refuge with my grandparents in our village due to the Israeli-Lebanese war. I also remember my parents wanting to give my siblings and I the best life possible against all odds. In 2009, as I was preparing to finish high school, I made a new friend which became a best friend. I call her Mimo. Our friendship took an unexpected turn a couple years down the line, which we'll talk about in a minute. In 2014, I graduated from St. Joseph University in Beirut. I did all my studies in French. Once I graduated, reality started to hit. I will almost never use French in my career, and if I dared to dream about being financially independent and successful, that was unrealistic due to the situation in Lebanon. So I prayed to God, not to ask Him for anything, but to thank Him for all the blessings that He permitted to exist in my life. And I took a leap of faith by founding my own company, which started with an office out of my car and little to no money. I embarked on a journey filled with hurdles and uncertainties. My dreams were ambitious. I wanted to make my first $1 million by the age of 25. So I founded White Gloves, which employed 250-plus employees from different countries and backgrounds. At that point, my financial goal was achieved, and much, much more. I also noticed that to succeed in Lebanon, I would have to bend the rules, live in the gray, and accommodate the corruption that is instilled in every aspect of day-to-day life, which made me realize that true success goes way beyond numbers. During this journey, life took an unexpected turn. Remember my best friend, Mimo, from 2009? Well, we decided to embark on a new adventure together, this time in love and life. We thought that if we can have such a good time as friends, why not try being a bit more than that? So we started dating and proved all our exes right over the years. Turns out we are more than just friends. In October 2017, Mimo and I made the life-changing decision to move to the US. When I told my family and friends, the majority thought we were crazy to pursue such a journey. And regardless, I had my company acquired by January of 2018 and started my adventure. Before we left, Mimo and I had a farewell party on May 1st with all our friends, which turned into a surprise engagement. Leaving behind our comfort zone, our childhood memories and culture, we embarked on a new chapter, the scariest, most exciting moment of our lives. As we stepped foot on American soil in June 2018, we were putting the American dream to the test. Knowing more than one language means more songs you can cry to, and when you are angry, you must switch to your native language to express your wrath in its full extent. But the US and the English language were both extremely fascinating to me. I learned that a hole-in-one and a strikeout do not belong to the same game. Hair of the dog is not a unique dish that Americans enjoy after drinking. It's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Kilometers and kilograms are not really a thing. It's actually miles and pounds. And when you transport something by car, it's called shipment, and when you transport something by ship, it's called cargo, which is weird. And then writing day, month, year is too chronological, so why not go with month, day, year? Also weird. And then teeth is plural for tooth, but fish is not plural for foosh, and neither fishes. Fish is just fish. Amazing, isn't it? So, summer 2020, Muriel and I went back to Beirut for the first time since we left. We got married again in our family church, as if once wasn't enough. And then we had one of the best summers of our lives. Unfortunately, we had to go back to reality. Sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that life is so great and nothing can go wrong. But little do we know that life can change at any second. We landed in San Diego on August 3rd, 2020. On August 4th, the Beirut explosion happened. It was the largest non-nuclear explosion in history. We lost friends, we lost loved ones, we lost a piece of our hearts. We were glued to our phones trying to stay up to date on the news, yet normally operating through our day-to-day lives. In Lebanon, we do not have the luxury to feel down, depressed, or anxious. The chaotic and unstable environment that we live in demands our full attention. Though we may not have the luxury to dwell on our emotions, it does not mean that we are immune to pain. On the contrary, we experience the full spectrum of human emotions, but we have learned that to find strength and resilience, we have to do it from within our faith. As soon as I received my work permit, I started delivering food for DoorDash and packages for Amazon. When my parents asked how I was spending my time, I told them that I was prepping for interviews and going to the gym while practicing my English. I was worried about what they were going to think. I did not want to disappoint them. Then shortly after, I applied for an interesting job posting at a company called Enterprise. They said that they give you the tools to manage your business and succeed, and God knows I needed every tool I could get my hands on. When I showed up to my interview, I was greeted in a parking lot in San Diego with free coffee, donuts, and a taco station. I thought to myself, they must really need people. But I decided to be patient and see what comes out of it. So May 1st, 2019 was my first day as an MT. I had just started at the rental branch, and I was wearing my nicest white Burberry shirt to make a good impression on my manager, my clients, thinking I was all set for success. Little did I know that I would be outdoors renting and washing cars, rain or shine. When I told my parents about it, they were not pleased. They said, "My son, you left your country and traveled all this way to go wash cars for people?" They didn't quite understand the big picture at the time, but they were disappointed for sure. I guess I'm glad I never told them about me delivering packages before that. Coming to Enterprise, I thought I knew everything. But it showed me that I have a lot to learn, unlearn, and relearn. From picking up on basic social cues, smiling or laughing at appropriate times and not making every situation awkward, to Googling new English words I heard in the workplace. It was a humbling experience. In February 2021, I was promoted to CSM with fleet management. 5 months into it, John and Morgan, my RSM and ASM at the time, asked how I'm liking it so far. So I told them that I must reassess in 6 months, since I was not sure that I'm fulfilling my fullest potential or if I even fit in. The imposter syndrome was following me in whatever I do. I never felt I was good enough to make it. That's when people in my office started to take bets on when I would quit. That's the only time I was happy that they lost money. You can see me holding it in my hand. That took a second. Throughout my enterprise career, I wanted to quit more times than I could remember. I always stood out, not in a good way, at least in my eyes. While people listen to morning podcasts and music during their morning commutes, I get on the phone with my parents since it's the only time we can talk due to the time difference. While my colleagues played fantasy football, I was trying to see if we can salvage any of the money that the banks in Lebanon have stolen from us. While everyone was planning Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners with family, my wife and I were worrying about when would be the next time we can see our parents 2 continents away. While my journey has lacked a traditional mentor, I was never short on inspiration. In fact, my perseverance and strength came from a Christian faith. The teachings of God and Jesus taught me to see the best in people. God gave me the opportunity to work with amazing individuals, in particular, John, Morgan, and the San Diego team. When I had conversations with my ASM, RSM, and director, I took advantage of the opportunity and was completely honest regarding what I thought about the job, my challenges, and not seeing a bright future ahead with Enterprise. Turns out, being open and honest with the people around you that are in the right position and have the business and personal maturity will help redirect the path forward. So I challenge you today to do the same and find these people in your circle. I was able to lean on my team members to do better, practice, get feedback, and learn from the best in the business. I underestimated the numbers of resources that were available to me and anyone else that needs them. All we must do is ask and be honest. And that advice goes to anyone here in this room having similar thoughts or going through a similar experience. 6 months have passed, and John and Morgan made sure to sit with me again to go over my reassessment. That was a turning point for me. They were able to show me that loving what you do is a plus, but enjoying who you do it with is a must. At that point, John asked me for a 3-year commitment, since he strongly believed that great things are coming. John, we're almost at the 3-year mark, and standing here on the stage today is proof that your words were true. Here I am, first-generation immigrant, English as a third language. Half of my conscience and brain are in Beirut worrying about my family, and the other half here in the States trying to accomplish the American dream. When I started with Enterprise, I thought I knew English and struggled to sell damage waiver to rental clients. Before I knew it, I started putting together multi-million-dollar analyses to present in front of C-suite executives. This is my 2nd year with fleet management, and I am ranked number 5 CSM in the country. sales trip winner, and MPE speaker, and most importantly, proudly a US citizen. Now, I've come a long way from my days in Beirut, and as they say, the sky is the limit. My ultimate dream, maybe becoming the first immigrant CEO of Enterprise and venturing into mobility solution for space travel. Or imagine the headlines, CEO forces Hummus Monday and Shawarma Friday on an entire company. Joking aside, as I stand here before you, I am a product of the unyielding spirit of my homeland and the unwavering support of God and the beautiful people He put on my path. Remember, God did not add another day to your life because you needed it. He added that day because someone else needs you. And that should be enough for you to find purpose. Thank you.